Before we start, I would like as on behalf of MENOG BC, I would like to thank our host, sponsors, speakers, everyone who is participating in this extraordinary gathering.
So, thank you very much. Welcome to MENOG. It's my first time here in Bahrain, but I understand it's MENOG's third time in Bahrain. Actually, the first MENOG ever was here in 2007, I think, and then we had a second meeting in 2009. So it's been a long time, but it's good to be back. So I'm Hans-Petter Holen. I'm the managing director of the RIPE NCC, has been so for 2.5 years now. I'm originally from Norway. I got pictures from my sister yesterday. They now have 10 centimeters of snow and freezing, so it's really good to be here in Bahrain. So looking at the big picture, the RIPE NCC is one of 5 RIRs around the world. We manage, distribute, and register internet number resources, and we also provide other services like measurement services, statistics, and so on and so on. We're a non-for-profit membership association. We have an elected board that oversees me, and then we have around 170 staff in Amsterdam and in Dubai and in other parts of our region. To give us policies for us, we have a community and we have a multi-stakeholder model, so everybody who is interested in discussing what the RIPE NCC is doing are more than welcome to participate in our meetings. The RIPE NCC was always intended to be a politically neutral organization. We're here for technical coordination to register IP addresses, not to be used for political purposes. And we are committed to support network operators in a neutral and impartial and transparent manner across the whole service region. We work to make sure that network operators are not denied access to our services for political reasons. And this is really close to my heart personally. My introduction to networking was at the University of Oslo, the days the Soviet Union fell apart. And being part of a small piece in giving network access to an independent news agency in the Soviet Union so that the world knew what's going on, that was what inspired me to go into networking and building an internet so that people can communicate and hopefully make the world a better place. We have a RIPE NCC forum. It's something that we launched this year. Traditionally, we have been doing a lot of work on mailing lists, but we're realizing now that mailing lists is kind of a thing of the last century. Today's young people live on Snapchat and TikTok and the likes, so we have now been experimenting by launching a forum, which is not as flashy as Snapchat, but anyway, it gives a different experience in discussing, so please try that one out to see if that works to engage with us. We've also spent a lot of time and resources on translating some key information from us. So we now have a wiki at translated.ripe.net where you can find information from us in 6 languages. Arabic, Russian, Turkish, Farsi, Italian, and Spanish. In 2020, we published a RIPE NCC Internet Country Report for the Gulf areas. And it's really interesting to look at all the information that we have in our registry, that we have from the measurement services, from RIS, from Atlas, and other sources, what we can deduct from that and present that in country reports or regional reports across the region. So the conclusions from this report was that IPv4 scarcity is not a big problem due to high mobile penetration, but further V6 deployment is still needed in the region. Regional connectivity could be better optimized and international connectivity diversified. And we're here as a Middle East network operator group and pairing forum, and you will hear that later through the agenda, that pairing, interconnecting locally to exchange traffic locally, is one of the tools that you all can contribute to make the internet in the region better. Routing security is also something that's really important for the internet. Today's society relies on the internet to be stable and secure. And securing your routing informations through RPKI, signing your ROAS, your route announcements, is really important to make sure that the internet works. So that's also a theme here, and we saw in the report that that's something that can be greatly improved here. Getting most from the meeting. So we have a rather large team here now. We haven't been traveling for 3 years, so we are bringing a lot of people to these events so that we can connect to the community. You will see at the top here, Hisham Ibrahim, he is the Chief Community Officer. He is located in Dubai together with Sandra and Shafiq and Jad. I can't go through everybody else on this list, but if you want to talk to us, then feel free to reach out. Start pairing. So this is all about exchanging traffic locally. There is sessions here or on the agenda, peering personal. So this is where you all can get your minute of fame. You can get up here on stage and tell everybody else who you are, which AS you are, and identify, make you available to the others for potential pairing negotiations. I'll twist the mic a bit, so like this, because then I can see the whole screen and be a bit closer. So meeting one-to-one in order to set up peering agreements has been a core activity of peering forums through the times. And there is a dedicated meeting room for that, and there will be a dedicated session for that on later today at 4 o'clock. We have a support desk here next to the registration desk. You can find Marco, Jeremy, and Stefan there. And if you have questions about IP addresses, AS numbers, assisted registry checks, the RIPE database, any of our services, how to register for an Atlas probe, issues with invoicing and billings, or interested in training courses, certifications, and so on, please go and talk to my colleagues. I mentioned Atlas probes a couple of times. It's an amazing network of more than 10,000 probes, small devices in the network. We even have virtual ones, so if you don't want a physical one, you can build that in your, install that in your virtual infrastructure. And you can run your own measurements across all of these 10,000 probes or a subset of them so that you can see how your service is performing from different parts of the network. We have 218 connected in the Middle East, so there is still room for more probes in this area. So if you're interested in becoming a host, talk to us here or go to this URL and register your interest. We have a signing party. Party is so fun, right? So Natalie, our lead on routing security, is here to celebrate safer routing practices. And please join this party to learn how you can sign your ROAS. I mean, our goal here is that all of you have signed your ROAS before you leave this conference. So please attend that session. Learning and certification. Knowledge is really important to run the internet, and there is a lot of technology and a lot of information to consume. We have now brought back the face-to-face courses due to COVID. We made all of that virtual, but we're still continuing with e-learnings and webinars. And we do have exams. There is a new exam coming up now in BGP security, and we have existing exams already. So if you're interested in boosting your career within your technical department, have a look at these courses and these exams to see if you can also document some of your knowledge so that your employer gets even happier with you. RIPE Labs. If you have something that you want to share with the community at large, we have a publication, well, it's a blog, RIPE Labs. Our editor, RIPE Labs editor, Alun, is here together with 3 colleagues from our comms department, Anthony, Adonis, and Boris. So if you want to have something that you want to share, please talk to any of them and we can see how that can be published on RIPE Labs. We have a community project funds. The next call for applications is in May, so you have quite some time to think about projects that can be good for the internet. And we have a total of 250,000 euros reserved for this, and there is a committee of community members that will pick proposals and give grants for those projects. And you can find previous projects here, so if you're interested in what we have sponsored in the past, you can have a look at that, and those results should be freely available. We have two executive board members here, Remco van Mok and Piotr Strystewski. Remco is here in the front, and Piotr is hiding in the back. So if you want to talk to any of my board members, please reach out to these two gentlemen. We have a lot of sponsors, so thanks to all of our sponsors. I won't read all of them. You can see their logos here and behind me and out in the corridor. Really appreciate that you support this event by sponsoring us and being here and taking part in this. And if any of you now get inspired and say that, oh, I want to host the next MENOG, you can actually come with a proposal for a MENOG in between the 8th and 12th of October next year. And you can look at this website for the requirements there and how you can pitch a proposal for that. If you want to attend an even bigger event with the whole community from the whole service region, I would like to welcome you all to our next meeting in Rotterdam. It will be in May, so then Netherlands is also really nice. Not as nice and warm as here, but still, Amsterdam or the Netherlands, Rotterdam in the spring is good. It's a whole week. We also have the general meeting. I believe there are 3 board members up for election now, so it's an important meeting to give input for the future of governance of the RIPE NCC. And you can also attend remotely. And you don't have to attend the whole week. So it's a week worth of program and you can pick and choose the technical talks that you want. And they're even recorded so you can watch them later on. Any questions? I mentioned the RIPE community a couple of times. So the community was formed in 1989. That's even before I got into networking. And it was a group of 15 to 20 engineers from universities across Europe that wanted to solve all the issues with internet in the service region, in the region, and figured out that that would take a couple of meetings. Now, we're still doing these meetings because there are still issues to be solved with internet. It's an open forum that anyone can participate in. ISPs, large corporations, people developing equipment, even government, participating on the same, in the same meetings, in the same groups, in order to solve issues, creating policies based on consensus and coordinated in working groups. Several of these working groups gives inputs as stakeholders to the product development that we're doing for RPKI, RIPE database, Atlas, and so on. And this is all volunteer work, so if you're interested in this, please also volunteer for work in the working groups. The RIPE NCC in 1992, it was clear that we needed a secretariat to run, to organize the meetings. And it was also clear that it would be good to have a regional internet registry in this time zone or this part of the world, because dealing with a registry in the US was kind of a bit awkward, because they would never answer the mails in the mornings. They would always do that in the evenings because that's when their morning is. So from practical purposes, it was also a registry, setting that up for the service region at the time, which was Europe, the former Soviet Union, Central Asia, Middle East, and at that time even Africa. Now, later Afrinic was spun off as a separate RIR, so there's now 4 of them, 5 of them, us and 4 others. We're funded by members. It's a membership organization. We're open, transparent, and neutral and impartial. And legally based in Amsterdam, with also offices in Dubai. And we have around 20,000 members. So it's a pretty diverse and stable organization. And all the members have 1 vote each. The mission is threefold. It's being an authority on unique internet number resources. For the internet to work, all the IP addresses, the AS numbers, needs to be unique, so we register them so there are no clashes. So the purpose of that is to enable you to operate and develop the internet. And then as a secretariat for the RIPE community, we're a trusted steward of the open, inclusive and collaborative internet model, engaging with and connecting people and communities. And the third, which is also very important to us, is to be a neutral source of information and knowledge. We actively contribute to the stability and evolution of the internet. So if anybody has any needs to understand better how the internet works, what statistics are, and usage and so on, we have a lot of data and we can interact with you and help you to get access to that data through APIs or through our reports. And we developed a 5-year strategy last year, so we now have a cycle where we have a 5-year strategy, and each year we make an activity plan and budget, which is then presented in the autumn general meeting. Comments can be given all the way up till the December board meeting, so this activity plan and budget for 2023 is up for approval next week. And then you can see what we have set out to do. And I think that was the last slide I have. So I still don't see any questions, so then it must have been really clear. And I would like to thank you all for listening to me and hand back the floor to the next talker and the program committee. So thank you.